You know, one of the very first apps that I always install on any new e-reader, whether it's Boox or Bigme or anything with full Android, is Kindle. I don't know why, it's just been a habit, I suppose. But every time I'm reminded of how frustrating it can be managing my library. It's like a mess, honestly. I love the Kindle, and for some time it has been one of my favorite devices, and I do recommend this one, the Kindle Colorsoft, as one of the best devices you can buy for a young person, or any avid reader for that matter. My daughter loves it, but finding the books we want to buy, or even that we already own, is often a pain on this. In fact, recently on a live stream, I couldn't even download a copy of Watchmen to show off the color screen. I just couldn't open it. It just wouldn't sync. I mean, I own this book, but I couldn't read it. BookFusion, the sponsor of this video, is going to help me get over that chaos. I wanted to get up the exact same thing, but one issue with this, and I really do recommend the Kindle Colorsoft to people, but for some reason I can't seem to open up Watchmen on it. And it's like, you own this, you've bought this, it's in your library, but every single time I press read now, it just won't. And I've restarted the whole thing. So even the Kindle, which should be, and is in general, just the easiest way to just pick something up and carry on reading. I'm trying to get this thing downloaded and it's just not playing ball. I mean, the user interface is just absolutely terrible. So I realized something about myself recently. I just really love to get into writers. And I care far more about the classics than I do about any other sort of fiction or reading for pleasure. And I mean the classics. One device, a compact reader that's not a phone, I'd go for the Go 7, I think. Because the reason for that is because, yeah, I personally would. Now, I've enjoyed reading comics. I've enjoyed reading graphic novels. You saw Watchmen. I got really into Watchmen. I really enjoyed reading Watchmen. But generally, I've realized something about myself recently, that I just get obsessed and interested by things like Dante. So I think that my own personal preference, my main thrust of reading, I'm going to go for something with a Carta 1300. Therefore, I'm going to go with the Go 7. And actually, the Go 6 is amazing as well, but it's just so slow. But the Go 7 would give me all that I would want from books in terms of being quick enough to use apps and annotate and go, download a guide or do a little web search about what this bit means. So since I've gone on a bit of a journey getting obsessed by Dante, even as far as reading some in the original Italian and using a little bit of AI to produce translations that sound right for me, I'll stop myself before I start going off on one about Dante, because that's what having a conversation with me is like at the minute. I've got obsessed with this idea of the deeper truth behind the beautiful lie. Anyway, the point is that type of in-depth studying of my books is what I'm really interested in, and that would just not be possible, I think, in the Kindle library. I don't use Kindle, for example, for notes. I don't even know where to find the notes. You can annotate books, sure, you can export them, but I don't think there's any sort of global notes and annotations digest. That would be great, Kindle. BookFusion can act as your unified source of truth for notes and books in one consistent place across multiple devices. And now that it's fully optimized for e-ink, they really wanted me to show this off. And the magic of BookFusion is really about managing your own bookshelf. I've been thinking about why we all love the Supernote. They're niche, but they're supported by a really engaged community. They engage very actively with Reddit and on Discord. They respond to queries and support, and they act upon feature requests. And this is what BookFusion is like as well. You only need to join their subreddit and their Discord server to hear the opinions of their enthusiastic users. The people at BookFusion, they are clearly readers themselves, and they're clearly users of BookFusion as well. And for that reason, I was absolutely delighted when they approached me to sponsor this content. You know, you can just tell by the way somebody writes an email whether they're your kind of thinking person. And there's something they said in those conversations. They kept talking about BookFusion becoming your source of truth. They kept talking about that, and it's not a phrase that I've heard a lot before, but it's something that really interested me. I thought at first about that bit in Malcolm X's autobiography where he's reading by this tiny sliver of light in his cell, and that awakening from the ignorance and the manipulative lies that he's been told, that's what that phrase source of truth means to me. That's what reading is. But for the companies that are the backbone of BookFusion's clients, it's something more straightforward, but it's just as crucial. It's their library that they can manage, keep secure, and ensure access for all of their key people. is a single place of reference for meaning within the organization. BookFusion have asked me to bring it to the attention of private individuals to help it simplify your reading life. So every book on every device can be perfectly synced. So there we are, very straightforward to install, and it's all there, your whole library. And then it comes back to the exact same place when you download a copy of that book. And I'm reading this copy of The Divine Comedy right now on my Go 7, and it's the one with all the footnotes, and I can click the footnote, get that extra bit of information, and then click back to go back to the exact same place in the text. But then I can choose to go straight back to that same place on my high break, on which I'm actually right now reading Jane Eyre and going through a journey with that author. It's been good. I actually quite like the vertical scroll mode. I'm hoping I can use BookFusion as my unified source of truth. Highlights for notes on books in one consistent place across all my devices, seamlessly syncing. People love it for its web interface, and I think this is the way to manage your whole library. So I'll give you a quick look around here. It has a store, and that's really good, especially for educational content, but they're also built-in libraries, and you can just sign up and you can borrow from them. This copy of Dante that I'm reading with all the really useful footnotes, that came from the standard ebooks library, as did the copy of Jane Eyre that I've started. I'm looking forward to exploring some of NASA's publications later in this little series of reviews. And although it's a spoiler, I've already actually used some of those images from those NASA books on BookFusion in a video that's titled something like "The Best Color Ink Gets Right Now." So you know that's going to look good. So that should really test out BookFusion on the full range of e-ink tablets that I have. And then there's Branch, which is their social reading experience, and I'll share more about that later in another video as well. It's pretty beautiful, although a bit overgrown here. So let's have a quick look around the web functions then. You can see favorites, plan to read, completed, all in a nicely organized bookshelf. Straight away, better than the Kindle. And here's the highlights from my whole library, all organized. And this is one of the key features that I'm intending to use as I'm reading Dante, just to pull out key bits that really speak to me. And then, of course, if Kindle is your favorite device, you can always just select one of the books and click Send to Kindle. All you need to do is go into the settings and type in your Send to Kindle email address. And yeah, you can manage your whole library here on the BookFusion web app and then read it on your Kindle. So thanks so much to BookFusion for supporting this channel and bringing you this piece of content. I do hope that it was useful. You can try BookFusion right now by the link in the description, which lets you use the free version. And the free version will probably just be enough for most people. So you can just try that first. And if you find that you need more than 10 books at a time, then there are options to purchase additional cloud storage. And look, I suppose that will cost less than buying a new memory card for one of your new devices. Or if your device doesn't support memory cards, then perhaps you can get away with having all of your content stored nicely in the cloud, ready to download at any time. So why not give it a go? You won't necessarily need your entire library stored on an SD card, fixed into one of your e-readers. Your library can come with you, syncing wherever you are, whichever book, whichever screen you're reading on.